In all the examples I've shown you so far, our download threads have been isolated from each other. But in a real-world scenario, sometimes our threads may need to access and modify shared resources. For example, when downloading files, each thread may report the number of bytes it has downloaded to a shared object. With this object, we can keep track of the entire download progress and report it to the user. Now, if multiple threads access the same object, and at least one of them changes this object, we're going to run into a couple of issues. The first issue happens when multiple threads try to modify the same data at the same time. It's like having one burger and 3 people wanting to eat it at the same time. It's not going to work. So if multiple threads try to change the same data, we may get wrong results or our application may crash. When this happens, we say we have a race condition, which means multiple threads are racing or competing to modify some data. I will show you an example of this in the next video. Another issue happens when one thread changes the shared data, but the changes are not visible to other threads. So different threads will have different views of the shared data. This is what we call a visibility problem. So if multiple threads access the same data, and at least one of them tries to change it, we're going to have some problems. If they only want to read the shared data, that's perfectly fine. And by the way, these problems are not specific to Java. These are properties of concurrent systems. We have the same problem in databases because multiple users can modify the same data at the same time. I talked about this in my Ultimate SQL course. So, if you want to build a multi-threaded application, you need to have a proper understanding of these problems and know how to prevent them. You should write code that can be safely executed by many threads in parallel. This is what we call thread-safe code. It's one of those terms that you see in the Java documentation a lot. Some classes are thread-safe, which means they can be safely used across many parallel threads. We'll talk about this later. So in the next video, I'm going to show you concurrency problems in action.